Got a 2005 Toyota Corolla with the battery light on the dash, and so the owner went and bought a new battery and put it in, but the battery light is still on. It's not turning off, and they said that the car seems to not be running right. Sounds like we might have a problem with our alternator, but I'm going to get the Innova 5610 plugged in, and we're going to do a quick alternator test on this and see if we can get that figured out, and if it is the alternator, we'll go ahead and get that changed. Just gonna put the key in the ignition. Looks like they've got some Christmas lights here inside the car. Now here we've got some inspection monitors that are incomplete, and that's because the owner just changed the battery. So when you disconnect the battery, those reset. I'm just gonna hit the menu button and scroll all the way down here to battery and alternator test here. This is our vehicle. Let's hit yes. Now, they just replaced the battery, so I'm just going to do the alternator test. Engine needs to be running at normal temperature to begin this test. Start the engine and turn on your headlights. Let's go ahead and start the car. And we're going to turn on the headlights. Now we need to increase the engine speed above 2,000 RPM. Turn the headlights off. Alternator status bad, voltage 10.93. The charging voltage is under the acceptable limit. This could cause damage to the battery or other electrical components. Now you can see we still have the battery light illuminated on the dash here with it running, letting us know that there is something wrong, but the owner just assumed that they needed to change the battery. Now the battery that they replaced might have been in good condition. So it looks like we need to do an alternator today. So this is a 2005 Toyota Corolla, and we're gonna throw in an alternator for this customer. Now this is a little bit of a special video today because the company Innova has asked me to do something for someone, and they're going to cover the cost of the repair. They're also going to gift them a brand new scan tool, the same exact model that I used. This is the Innova 5610. So let's get this alternator out, and then we're gonna run to the store, get a new alternator, and also going to pick up this same scan tool, and we're gonna gift that to this customer, and the customer has no idea, so they're gonna be really surprised. But let's get it done first. We'll get this alternator out, put in the new one, and make sure that that new one is charging properly. Now I'm also gonna hook up a battery charger to the battery while we're doing this job. But let's go ahead and pop the hood and get going. All right, looks like this one's not too hard to get to. It's just right down here. But first thing we need to do is disconnect that battery. I'm just gonna disconnect the ground cable here. Just a little 10mm socket. All right, we'll let that charge while we get this done. Now the tensioner's back here. We just need to pull that forward and then slip our belt off. Now we just have two bolts that hold this in place. It's a 12mm here up at the top. And this one at the bottom looks like a 14mm socket will fit on there. All right, then we just need to pull off this little plastic cover, and that exposes this nut right here, which is our main connection, and that's a 10mm socket to take that off. And then this one here, we just need to squeeze that together to pull it out. There we go. You see right there, you just have to press in on that little tab. Now this last one down here is just a mount, and really shouldn't be too tricky. You just kind of have to pull this out a little bit and should slide right off. There we go. Now sometimes I'll disconnect the electrical connectors before taking off the mounts, but kind of did it backwards this time. But we should be able to now wiggle this out. There's a little sliding bushing. On some vehicles it stays on the cradle of the vehicle. On this one it's actually a part of the alternator. So this isn't necessarily to help us put the new one back in. This is just wiggling that so that we can get this one out pretty easily. Okay, we should be pretty free now. Just gonna lift this up, pull it through here. Just be careful on the wiring as you're taking this out. And there's the old alternator. Now we already ordered the new alternator from O'Reilly. Let's run over there, pick that up along with that scan tool to surprise our customer. And then we'll get back here, throw the alternator in and test everything, make sure it's all working properly. And then we should be good to go. So this is for a 2005 Toyota Corolla. I already called and ordered it, so it should be here.
Got it. Grab it right now for you.
Awesome, thank you. And since I got the old one, we can take the core charge off.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's just make sure it's the right one. Looks like I need to take off this little bracket. Do you have a little 8mm? I can do that real quick. There we go. They just let me borrow their tools and transfer this little tab over here, so this is good to go now. I also need to get the Innova 5610 scan tool that I saw you have over here. It's just like the other one that I bought last time.
You got it. Be right back.
Yep, that's the one. Awesome.
Great tool to have.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Thanks again.
Okay.
See you on the next one.
All right, take care. All right, now we can put our new alternator or new remanufactured alternator into the car. Just gonna fish it right down here the same way we took the old one out. You see this little part right here, this little sleeve, just make sure that that's pushed all the way out this way. Otherwise, you're gonna have a hard time putting that in. We'll just get this spun around how it needs to go. And there we go. And I'm just gonna get these bolts started by hand. Just gonna zip these in real quick, make them snug. Now the torque spec for this top bolt is 18 foot-pounds. And this bottom bolt on the alternator needs to be torqued to 39 foot-pounds. Feels like it's stripping, but all it's doing is sliding that bushing over. There we go. All right, now we need to put the belt back on, or back onto the alternator pulley. I'm just using this 19mm ratcheting wrench here to do this. Pull that tensioner and just try to loop that belt up and over the alternator pulley. There we go. Now I'll get a diagram up here on the screen for you. Just make sure that when you put this belt back on, that everything is looped around all of the pulleys and that that's all seated flush in all the grooves. All right, now we just need to hook everything back onto the alternator here. So this plastic mount, you just have to slip it on, just like that. This plug here, all we need to do is just line that up and press that on. And this one here is last. Comes with a new nut. And then just this little plastic cover snaps down over the top, just like that. All right, then we can disconnect the battery charger and we'll reconnect the battery. Okay, and let's cover that battery terminal back up. Let's go start it up, make sure everything looks good and sounds good, and then we'll test that again and make sure that that alternator is working the way it's supposed to. Well, everything sounds good. Let's go hook up the Innova 5610 and see what kind of voltage we're getting, and then we'll run through that alternator test once more to confirm this repair. Well, first of all, I can see that the battery light is off, so that's a good sign. We're gonna scroll down to that battery alternator test again. And now we're gonna do an alternator test. Let's hit continue. The engine is already running. Now we need to turn on the headlights. Let's hit continue. I need to increase the RPMs above 2000. Now it's just gonna run through that countdown again. But you can already see those alternator volts. Look, it's close to 14 volts. That's great. Okay, headlights off and back to idle. Alternator status, good. Charging voltage within specifications. Well, we are done. Now, of course, the battery light's off, but more importantly, this is now charging just like it should, and we're able to verify that here with the Innova 5610. So let me just call the customer, get him over here to come pick this up and wrap this up. All right, well, the customer is on his way to come pick up his vehicle, and I'm super excited to give him the news, but I also wanted to take a minute and explain why I chose this person for this sponsored repair. And it really isn't just about helping someone out and giving away a cool scan tool for them to learn how to use, but the person I've chosen is someone who consistently shows up for others in the community. He's always willing to help others in need, and he doesn't do it for the attention, and he definitely doesn't expect anything in return. So I just wanted to use this opportunity, again with Innova's help, to give back to someone who does so much for so many other people. All right, he just texted me back and says I can come get it, so I give him a thumbs up. As soon as he gets here, we'll give him the news. How's it going?
Hey, I just forgot to say hi. He's being my taxi driver.
Yeah, that's nice. You have a good taxi driver there. So tell me the story real quick. What happened with this? You came over and dropped it off with your son, and you said that the battery light was on.
So the battery light kept coming on during the day, and then we went to the store and it died in the parking lot and would not start. And so I replaced the battery.
Okay.
And it still was flashing the battery light on the dashboard.
Right.
And it still had trouble starting, and you could tell something was not right. And so that's when we figured out that it might be the alternator.
The bad news is that it was the alternator.
Yep.
So yeah, the battery light was still on when I was starting it and all that too. So here's your new alternator right here. We ended up getting this one from O'Reilly. What were you saying? Your wife was driving it, and what happened?
So she was driving, and the lights in the dashboard were going funky, and the AC would turn off just randomly, and then the lights on the dashboard would go off, but the car would still run. And so she went into the store and came back, and the car just wouldn't start at all.
Oh, okay.
And so then she said, well, I need to start saving some power. And so she starts unplugging the LED lights and turns the AC off, and that unfortunately didn't solve the problem.
Trying to save it, because basically you were driving on just the battery. You didn't have an alternator charging it as you were driving. So right. Yeah, you're just going to run down that battery until you got that fixed. So replacing that battery probably was not necessary. I know that's kind of a bummer. You spent the money on the battery when you didn't really need to. It's this company Innova. So that's the scan tool that I used in order to determine for sure that it was the alternator. But this company paid for this repair.
Oh, that's cool.
And they also wanted me to give this to you. This is a scan tool that I use. That's the same model of the Innova 5610. And that's a gift from the company Innova. They completely sponsored this repair.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, now we'll know what to do for next time instead of going to other things. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Innova. Appreciate that very much.
You're very welcome. I just couldn't think of a more deserving person.
Oh, well, appreciate it.
Anytime you get a check engine light or anything like that, you can plug in that scan tool. You'll be able to diagnose and pretty much figure out what's going on with your vehicle and even start fixing it yourself.
That'll save me a ton.
You don't have to call me every time.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
You're very welcome. That's a wrap. We're going to call this one done. Again, thanks to Innova for sponsoring this video and sponsoring the entire cost of this repair. I hope you guys like this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't mind. That does help me out. And of course, I'll get a link in the description to all the parts and tools used in the video as well, along with that scan tool from Innova. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck.